Question number 2, Graham Pearson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. To ask the Scottish Executive what action it will take to meet the international goals agreed in the NASCO guidance on best management practices to address the impact of sea lice and escaped salmon on wild salmon.
Minister Stewart Stevenson.
I refer the member to S4O-00990, published in the Daily Written Answers report on the 30th of April, which stated that the Scottish Government has supported and continues to support the sustainable development of the aquaculture industry and wild salmon and recreational fisheries in Scotland. The draft report does not take fully into account the measures that the Scottish Government has taken and continues to take to address the issues highlighted. Examples include the continued work of the Improved Containment Working Group and proposals included in the recent Aquaculture and Fisheries Bill consultation document. We are considering the way forward in the light of responses to the bill consultation.
Graham Pearson.
I'm obliged for that reply. The Minister will be aware that the NASCO utilises focus area reports to monitor this particular issue, and the recent report indicates that progress in achieving the international goals for sea lice and contaminant was not demonstrated within Scotland. Would the Minister recognise that the reporting of lice levels at an individual farm level is fundamental in demonstrating progress towards achieving the international goals for sea lice?
Minister.
One of the things I've sought to do in my time as Minister responsible for both the wild salmon, recreational fisheries and, of course, aquaculture is to promote dialogue between these interests that have to share the same ecological space. I'm very pleased to report that as a result of a series of workshops that we've run and the way we've worked, that the different sectors are now talking to each other. I know the wild salmon and recreational fisheries industry sat down with the aquaculture industry to look at the sea lice data that is collected in considerable detail. I think that is a very substantial step forward. The data is collected, it is available and published in aggregate, and I'm optimistic that we will find the right balance that will enable us to continue to drive down sea lice infestation to what are, in world terms, already very low levels, to even lower levels, so there is even less interaction between the wild salmon and the aquaculture industry.
Jamie McGregor.
Thank you. What is the Scottish Government doing to encourage an integrated system of fallowing of finfish cage sites in sea lochs? And has the Government taken note of declines in wild salmon and sea trout stocks in particular areas of the west coast, while stocks on the east coast appear to be rising?
Minister.
Well, to address the second point first, the reduction in stocks is specific to specific rivers. There are areas in the west coast where the stocks are rising, as well as areas where it's falling. But what is shared among these is that the trends are actually extensions of trends that happened before there were any farms. Now, specifically on fallowing, part of what we consulted on in our recent consultation, which we're now analysing the comments from, was on management areas where there are a number of operators in an estuary, a loch, or a shared area, so that we can have synchronised fallowing across various operators. Now, it's important that as we take that forward, that we work with the industry. I would very much like to see voluntary agreements in different areas. That keeps us out of the picture, which helps us, provided, of course, they serve that public good. So fallowing is a very important part of the armoury in dealing with the issue of sea lice.